of 2022, my friends. January the 1st. Happy New Year to you, to your families. Wishing you nothing but the very best this year. Health, happiness, prosperity, success, whatever you want, make it happen in 2022. So, going on a little journey to pick up a friend in Burbank, and I do want to hear from you how your New Year's Eve was. Did you kick back like me and party? Now, I could have gone out and made a lot of money on private rides on New Year's Eve, but I didn't take those private bookings. I decided a good party, good champagne, good food was the way to go, and no regrets, right? So I passed on a lot of money last night, but I also heard from many of you guys and girls out there that stayed back because of the low offers, right? Then I heard back from a couple of drivers that said, you know, they put in 10, 11, 12 hours, made anywhere from $300 to $450. If you average that out at $30 an hour, it's not bad, but it's not what New Year's Eve was. And I tell you, the people that made the real money last night were Uber and Lyft. And here is why. Very, very simple. They jacked up the surges. They weren't offering much at all on the quests. You know, 2 trips, $5, 3 trips, $10. That's not what got the drivers out, right? Drivers were banking on the fact, well, maybe it's going to surge like crazy and we'll make money from the surges. The sad thing is, from the many messages that I received from drivers that actually went out driving, they took the time to ask the passenger, hey, what did you pay, or how much did you pay on the surge? And once you find out that Uber was running these big surges, Lyft was running these big surges, and they coined and they pocketed most of that money, most of that surge money, that left a bitter taste in the drivers' mouths, right? When you're going out there on New Year's Eve, some drivers did go out. They need the money, and you're seeing these surges, and then you find out from passengers that wow, and the passengers are not happy that they're paying these astronomical surges, right? But the problem is the drivers were not seeing their cut of that surge, and that's sort of the whole sad thing in the equation. That's what I'm saying. The people that made the money were Uber and Lyft. But I don't think they made the real money, because I think a lot of drivers stayed at home. I think a lot of drivers were insulted by these pathetic guarantees from Lyft and pathetic New Year's Eve quests from Uber. And I base my opinion or my thoughts on all the feedback that I read in these videos. And between these 2 videos that I made about New Year's Eve, way over 12,000 views, and 90% of the reactions from drivers was the following: I'm not going to go out there and work for that type of money. Right? Jonathan Alexander in the house, M. Rahman in the house. Good to see you guys. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Make this a great year. I am super excited about a project that I'm involved in that's going to roll out in 2022. And I hope to make a couple of $1 million on this project, and it's called Gig Rocket. I'm pretty much a 50% shareholder in that company, and got a lot of good backers, a lot of good engineers involved in that Gig Rocket. And what I love about the company, and you'll see it launching early 2022, is their slogan, and it goes, boost your potential. Gig Rocket, boost your potential. That's their slogan, boost your potential. Right? And if you just take those words, boost your potential. Do I want to boost my potential in 2022? Absolutely. Would you like to boost your potential in 2022 and find things that reward you better? Absolutely. Would you be open to new ways? You know, even if it meant you kept on driving for Uber and Lyft and you figured out new ways to boost your potential, sign me up, right? So it's going to be an exciting platform, and I'm super, super excited to be part of it. Very, very excited. Kevin's in the house. Everyone that's in the house right now, we have 37 people. Please smash the like button for 2022. Everyone that's in the house right now, you, your family, your extended family, I hope it's going to be a good year. And I hope it's going to be a good year, 2022, for all of you. And we've made it to this point, man. We got through 2019, we got through 2020, we got through 2021, and we're still alive. A lot of people lost their lives, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people lost their lives because of COVID, Delta, and Omicron. But here we are. Which reminds me of that song, Elton John, I'm Still Standing. I'm still standing after all these years. I've seen the Delta, I've seen the COVID and the Omicron. I'm still standing after all these years. So let's stay healthy and keep pushing. $3.99 for 100 trips doesn't motivate me to drive. Leonardo, I'm with you on that. I would never drive for $3.99 for 100 trips. Not crappening, not crappening. Yeah, and then when they surge prices and make you travel, I think a lot of drivers last night put on some serious miles, because my guess is you had to drive pretty far distances to pick up your passengers, your riders last night, right? I don't think that there were many drivers circling. When I looked at the screenshots of Orlando, Florida, there were not many drivers on the map. So do share, do share. I won't be beat is in the house. Happy New Year to you. Please do share. If you stayed at home, if you did stay at home, what did you do? Did you have a party? Did you have a great dish? Pop the champagne bottles? If you did go out and work, how many hours did you work? What city did you work in? What platform did you work on? How many hours did you put in? And most importantly, what did you make? So a lot of the drivers that went out on New Year's Eve put in a good 10, 11, 12 hours, right? And came back anywhere from $250 to $450. Myself personally, I don't work 12 hours for $450, right? I mean, I said goodbye yesterday just for the evening shift. I would say from about 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. I said goodbye to about $1,500 because I wanted to party, and I partied hard, right? So I could have worked 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. Private clients, made myself $1,500, but I'm figuring, you know, I had such a good month. I was so busy for the last 4 to 6 weeks, every day, morning till night. Some days were $2,500 days. Never a day under $800. And, you know, when you're exhausted and you want a few days off with your family, that's exactly what I did. So I did not drive last night. That's just me sharing. Beautiful sunset. We're driving into a sunset. Who says they love Uber, they treat you well? Look, if someone says, I love Uber, they treat me well, I'm not going to argue with that individual, right? You might be a newbie, you might be spoiled in the initial first 50, 100 trips, and you haven't seen the big picture yet, right? Or you might be in a zip code or in a city, and there are a few cities that are actually making money, but 90% of the cities are not making money, right? So I'm not gonna put that individual down. If they are happy with the company and they're happy with the money they make, they must continue doing so. But you've got to look at the big picture. The big picture is that this is a business. The car is your office. You have a lot of overheads. You have a lot of oil changes, brake changes, tire changes, transmission changes, potentially. So if you're just in a new car and you're a newbie and they feeding you some good numbers, because those algorithms certainly have to keep the newbies excited, and you might say, yeah, that the company has been good to me. I'm not going to argue with you, but I would request a follow-up conversation with you, whoever that individual is, maybe 2 years down the line. Somebody just said Michigan is the worst. Do share with me why Michigan is the worst. Uber extra $5 for 50 trips in Puerto Rico. Uber treats us like a third world country. George, San Diego. You know, George, I'm sorry that they're only offering you $5 for 50 trips. I mean, that, my friend, is nonsense. That's an insult, right? That's a slap in the face. DC stole 70% last night, you see? So thank you for that feedback, Butter. That is probably the percentage. That is probably a very accurate percentage based on what the feedback, the screenshots, the numbers that I've received. And I get hundreds and hundreds of texts and emails. I received probably 600 or 700 Happy New Year messages. Thank you to all of you for your kind outpouring of support, well wishes to me, to my family. I love you back, period. Love you back, right? But what I also read between the lines and looked at the screenshots, did a lot of calculations. Uber and Lyft pretty much took 70% last night. And no doubt about it, the surges were high, but you got a very, very small percentage of those high surges, right? The money that Uber and Lyft made last night from the drivers driving on New Year's Eve, those margins were pretty high for Uber and Lyft. They were not high for you. You made the numbers based on the hours, based on an above average per hour pay. So let's say you were getting $15 to $20 regularly. Maybe last night you were making 20 to 40. What you should have been making is at least 80 to 120 bucks per hour. That's what you should have been making, right? If you'd been properly paid out on those surges, if you had been given, even if it was 50% of those surges, you should have made good money. But when they're taking 70% off the top, you left with 30%. That is not going to add up too much. It's only going to add up to some dollars if you're putting in 10, 11, 12 hours. That figure is going to look okay. If you put in 11 hours and you've made 450 bucks and you've averaged $40 per hour, you can say, well, that was okay. I put in a full day and I made $450. Now, you compare that $450 and 11 shift 2018, you would have made double. You would have made double that type of money in 2018, right? Or 2017, had you put in 11 hours on New Year's Eve. I'll guarantee you that, right? I'll go back to those numbers. Had you put in the same hours in 2017 or 2018, you would have made double of what you did. But because they've cut back, because they're taking 70% of these surges, you're not left with the real money. And driving, Brad is correct. Driving 11 hours a day is insane. I don't mean 11 hours that you should be doing 11 hours every day. What I meant is maybe some people saw the opportunity and ventured out on New Year's Eve and said, you know what, I'm going to put in a full day. I'm not going to party on New Year's Eve. I'm going to drive, and I'm going to drive a full 11 hours because apparently on that day they pay. So I'm going to go out and make money on New Year's Eve for 11 hours. Maybe I start my shift at 5 p.m. and I end up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning. But I'm going to go out and do 11 hours and let's see what I make. It is definitely, as Brad correctly said, it's insane, it's unhealthy if you're doing 7 days at 11 hours per day. That to me just means you don't have a life. That means you're living in your car 77 hours a week. That to me is not life. Thumbs up, David. Thank you, my friend. 111, thank you for being here. Scott Tucker, I really appreciate you. I consider you a good friend. And the content and the feedback I get from Scott Tucker and him helping out drivers. Listen, him helping out drivers with the credit checks and freezing credit checks, and him answering people, and the way, just the human that he is, the kindness of his heart, helping people, guiding them in the right direction with links, giving them feedback because he's done his education in this department, right? And openly, willingly sharing that information, right? That positive energy. Scott Tucker, you are a gig hero in my eyes for 2021 and the years before. We're going to do it again in 2022, right? So massive thank you for a lot of people that went beyond, went up and beyond in 2021. AD, I appreciate you. Happy New Year. Much love from my family to your family, to your extended families, right? And we're going to stay safe, and we're going to figure things out like we always do, and we're going to make money. And guys, I am so excited about, I was itching. I got to tell my community, got to tell my peeps what I'm involved in. And I have a feeling this company that I have 50% shares in, called Gig Rocket, I think I'm going to make a couple of million on that this year, right? I mean, I've sold a couple of companies for a lot of money, but I have a really good feeling on this one. Great name, great logo. Bell, love your energy back. You know what life is about, Bell? It's a mutual, equitable exchange of positive energy. I'll help you, you help me. And it's not measured by who did what for whom, right? It's about, does he care for me? Do I care about him? Does she care for me? Do I care about her? Right? It's an equitable exchange of positive energy. Honesty has got to be there. Trust has got to be there. You got to stay true to your values. Present the facts. No bullshit. Like Dara Khosrowshahi, I can tell you, in his DNA, he's a bullshitter, right? He has at a young age had to figure out how to F people over, right? Because he constantly does that. When you're managing these teams of engineers and you're constantly figuring out ways to F hard-working people over, you're not a human. And then on top of it, to prove my point, if you got to pay $2 million for your own personal security, what type of a life do you lead, right? When around every corner, there could be someone that wants to pop you, right? This is how this guy lives. Do you think living under those conditions, that anxiety, that stress, knowing that millions of people hate you and might want to pop you or stab you or whatever, that to me is not life, my friends. I want to go out, like tomorrow, go out on the ocean. My kids we're going to go fishing in the ocean, right? Deep sea fishing. That to me is life. I don't want to worry about somebody coming up to me and putting a bullet in my head. That to me ain't life, right? I've been there in the army in South Africa. I've seen it. That to me wasn't really life. To to be free, to move around freely, you know, not like in some third world countries where militia and rebels run the show and their people have to live in fear. That is not a way to live. That's the way Dara Khosrowshahi lives. Because if you got to pay $2 million for your own personal security, you are not living. You are hated, right? You're not loved. You are hated, right? And, you know, I do have some people say, oh, this channel, you know, you're going too negative in this channel. My friends, if there is positive news, if there is uplifting positive news by Uber or any of these companies, bring it to me. I'll be the first person to talk about that positive news. If they have spent $100 million on safety and they've brought out new safety features, I would regard that as positive. I would talk about that. But when the daily news is about carjackings, not doing anything about safety, misrepresenting yourself as a company, baiting and switching people as a company, stealing people's tips, right? How low can you go? Stealing people's tips, stealing restaurants' menus without their permission and advertising it. How low can you go? So you tell me, you bring me some good news and I will report that good news. But if 99% of the news that Uber and Lyft and these company puts out there is negative, it's my job to give you my opinion or share that news with you, because our job is to figure out how to make things better, how to boost our own potential within these trying times. We got COVID around us, we got Delta around us, got Omicron around us, we got companies cutting our pay, we got companies raising the rates for riders, and we still have to figure out in all of these moving ways, we got to figure out how to make money in the equation, right? In that maze, in that big maze that we're in, we got to figure out how to make money. So you have a good story, you have a positive story, bring it to me, right? Usually the positive stories come from drivers. This driver helped this lady out of the house because the house was burning. This driver stopped and saved a life. This driver was a hero, right? I only really hear the good stories from drivers, right? I don't really hear very, very good stories from riders. You know, riders on these platforms, stabbing people, shooting people. You bring me the good stories and I promise you I will report on those good stories. But don't tell me that my channel is all about negativity. My channel is trying to find ways to uplift us to get out of that negative rut, right? How can we actually make money? Well, how we make money is we learn from our fellow gig workers. We figure out together, not just individuals, but we figure out as a massive family, how do you make more money in Dallas? How do you make more money in Melbourne, Australia? How do you make more money in Los Angeles, California? How do you make more money in Dallas, Texas? How do you make more money in Albuquerque, New Mexico? How do you make more money in Salt Lake City, Utah, right? You know, sharing is caring. Sharing ways and figuring out what happens on the street and sharing that with your fellow brother and sister so he and she can do better, right? That's pretty much what this channel is about. And I had to put a guy early on in one of the, wouldn't even post his comment. I kicked him, slapped him straight out of the room. His handle was Philly, and I've got a massive following from Philadelphia. I think the Philly people rock, they're awesome. But this guy called him, his handle was called Philly. Maybe his name is Phil and they call him Philly, right? But when I read those idiotic comments by this individual and him attacking fellow, I'm like, what makes you better? What makes you more special, Philly, right? Why do you come out judging these others? Do you think that, you know, your shit smells better? So I had to shut this kid down, because those are not the people that we want in our channel. Bell, thank you. 2022, baby, January the 1st. January the 1st, 2022. You're very right on that. A lot of people can't take the truth. AD, a lot of people cannot handle the truth. A lot of people cannot handle the fact when you hold up the mirror to them and say, hey, look at yourself. Look at what you're doing, right? Or for example, you're drinking every day. Don't you think you have a problem? You're drinking, 10 cans of beer or 2 bottles of wine. Let me hold the mirror up. Do you want to become a better person? Do you want to stop drinking and stop being an alcoholic? For many people, sadly, the truth hurts. But you owe it to your fellow member to hold up the mirror. Hey, you're letting yourself go. You're out of control with your health. You're eating, you're eating morning and day at McDonald's. You need to start eating some healthy food. You need to start working out. Look at yourself in the mirror. So the truth, yes, the truth hurts a lot. But if you're a good human and you care about another human, it is better you start guiding them in the right direction. It could be a father to his son, right? It could be a friend to a friend. Hey, I want to point something out. This truth might hurt you, but I feel like as a friend, I got to tell you this. Or I, as your father, I got to tell you this, right? The truth hurts many, many times. Tony Slaughter says, I want to start a different job away from this. Auto, are you working at a mechanic shop? Are you like an auto mechanic there, or? Do hit me up, text me. Uber Black looking for $200,000. Is that, Robert, is that looking for $200,000 in investment, or is that $200,000 that you made on the Uber Black platform? Please clarify. Drivers should come together a pressure group on Twitter. I like that a lot. I like that a lot because that actually works, right? If you have a group that collaborates on Twitter and you're pressuring a company and you're exposing a lot of the nonsense collectively, very powerful idea. Well, Robert does private trips, so just check on my car. Okay. Worst week of pay. So if you did go and work last night, please let us know, and please let us also honestly know if it was good or bad, right? Maybe you wished you stayed at home, or maybe you were totally satisfied that you went out and worked, right? There's no judgment here. We're just sharing. We're sharing numbers, we're sharing feedback. Hey, I worked last night, I was in this city, I worked on that platform, I put in so many hours, I made so much money. That's information you can work with. We can then look at this video next year, New Year's Eve, 2022. You could maybe look at this video in 1 year's time and start comparing. You made $500, John Garcia. How many hours did you work? What city did you work in, and was that on UberX? In Illinois. Okay, good. You're in Illinois. Was that on UberX? $460 in Dallas. How many hours? So what we need to know is how many hours on what platform, XXL, what city. Great, good feedback, good feedback, good feedback. Uber Eats for 11 hours, awesome. Awesome, good for you. So you did Uber Eats for 11 hours and you made $500. That's good, my friend, that's good. Well done. A lot of people also reported they made more money on Uber Eats last night than they did on Uber. $12.78 in 10 hours. What city is that? What platform? $12.78 in 10 hours is, I think, what you should be earning. That I consider that money. Thank you. Great feedback, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the feedback I'm looking for. How many hours? How many dollars did you make? On what platform? UberX, Excel, SUV, Black. What city? Right? That's like really, really helpful information. We can go back in a year's time and we can look at this. 402 in 12 hours in West Palm. On what platform? Philadelphia. Very good, Sekunda. Very good. On what platform were you driving, Sekunda? Were you on XL, or were you on SUV, or were you on Lux, or were you on UberX? Angel said $500. How many hours did you have to work, Angel? What city? What platform? Philadelphia sounds like there was money to be made last night. Looks like the Philly boys, good for you. Good for Philadelphia. I'm happy if people make money on New Year's Eve. I want you to make money, right? I'm not here saying, oh no, we got to. No, if people are reporting that they made money in Philadelphia, I'm extremely happy about that, right? Because it only starts getting fair when all these cities make the same type of money. That's what you should be making. $97 people in the house. I wish all 97 of you and your extended families a very, very happy and healthy new year. And please do me a favor, smash that like button for 2022, because here we come, all of us. 2022. Philadelphia was busy. But I'm more concerned that if there were super high surges, I hope you got your percentage of that surge, right? A lot of people were reporting to me that Uber took 70% of their surge. Yeah, you're good. And I really love that comment from the UK, right? About the UK drivers. The UK drivers are really, really tight. They squeezed Uber's balls to get where they are right now. They would not tolerate that type of nonsense. This is how we have to operate, this is how we have to think, and this is how we have to act. Just like the UK people did. I mean, listen, they truly leading the way in victories here against Uber. The UK is literally spanking Uber. Leonardo, Happy New Year. $280. Cool, I'm reading. Yeah, I actually need a union by drivers for drivers. I don't like the fact that some of these other unions are trying to recruit drivers and put them sort of under their umbrella. You actually need an organic union by drivers for drivers. There's one in the UK, and they've been very, very successful. I think it's called the ADCLU or so. been very, very successful in their negotiations and their pressure on these companies, because it's by motivated drivers that get together and use their power and their voice. 200 after midnight. Cool. So you just worked after midnight, made 200. Okay, if you made a quick $200, I salute you. I salute you. And guys, this is excellent feedback. You guys are leaving excellent, guys and girls are leaving excellent feedback. Now, it's interesting that 90% of my viewers, because I see the YouTube analytics, and I'll share this with you, 90% are males, 10% are females. So to me, at least the driver side is very male dominated. Maybe in the Uber Eats department, maybe there's more female drivers, definitely not as men drivers, right? But maybe in the ratio on Uber Eats males to females is probably higher on the female side. When it comes to rideshare driving, I'm guessing 9 to 1. I'm guessing, because my viewers on YouTube, 90% male, 10% female. So yeah, how many hours did you put in last night? What platform did you work on? X, XL, whatever, Lux. What city did you work in, right? And then most importantly, what did you make? So we can get a good idea and a good average. Well, I like the ride share. I mean, I'm happy if people make money on Uber Eats. I did a couple of food deliveries for the companies to get the codes, because I was making a ton of money on the codes. I'll be honest, I'll be very open. But I'm not a person that can drive food around, right? I want to network with humans on the highest level, SUV Lux. I want to create relationships, and more importantly, I want to recruit riders away from Uber and Lyft into my private company. And I did that very, very successfully for years, slowly but surely taking away their riders and building out a really powerful private clientele. And a lot of these new courses that I'm launching this year, early 2022, will be on gigrocket.com, the new company that I'm involved in, right? And you will also be able to make videos, educational videos about your city, and monetize them on this platform. So if you are Scott in Austin, Texas, and you want to make a video about Uber and show the people how to make money in Austin, Texas, and because you're there in that city, you're eating and breathing Austin, Texas, you have the credibility from Austin, Texas, because you're a driver there, and you make a little educational video showing Uber, you get to monetize that. That's one of the ways that Gig Rocket works. We've got 120 people in the house. I'm almost at my destination to pick up a friend. I'm getting off here at Hollywood. Way. I'm almost by the Burbank airport. I'm gonna put it there and see. It's a tiny, tiny little airport. In fact, you know what I should do? I'll drive through the airport. I'll do one little round, so you get to see. This is a tiny little airport where you can get out. Usually you get out in and out very, very quickly. What the hell? What did this guy just do? So here we have pretty much rolling into Corey. How are you? Happy New Year, Corey. Happy New Year. Jeez, like that guy almost walked in front of my car, that homeless guy. Almost knocked that guy over. Jeez, like, would have been up for murder. Drove over a homeless guy. He literally stepped out in front of my car. Happy New Year, my friends, my subscribers, brothers and sisters of the gig community. Happy New Year to you. Wishing you the very, very, very best. Let's see, where are we? Okay, here's Amazon on the right-hand side. That warehouse there we're driving past on the right, that's all Amazon. Amazon. Yeah, there were quite a few people disappointed. Yeah, I don't think this individual has landed yet, so I'm gonna literally do a quick little. We're entering Burbank Airport, ladies and gentlemen. It looks pretty empty. It looks pretty empty. I'm gonna fly through here and then I'm gonna get myself a cup of tea. Yeah, this is empty, man. This is empty. Uber in New York is slow. There's a lot of people not driving, that's why. Look how empty this is. There's nobody here. Thousands and thousands of flights were canceled today. So this sort of explains, this is all that's going on in Burbank. This is like probably the second largest airport in LA after LAX and Long Beach. There is nothing going on here. There is nothing going on. And let me just I gotta just double check on my, give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just checking on my messages here. I've got to get myself a Leonardo. Look how empty, dude. I just gave you a quick, super fast guided tour, and then I just checked my phone if my friend had landed. So all I take is surge rides. Yeah, no, which is smart. To take surge rides is smart. But the sad thing is that yesterday people are reporting that Uber and Lyft were literally taking 70% of their surge. Now, of course, on surge, you're going to make more than the average, right? Trip. If you're taking a trip on surge. But the sad thing is that you have to give up let's say, up to 70% of that to the company. Man, this is so empty. This is not even funny. Pennsylvania in the house. I think I'm going to skip the tea and then just hopefully try and find a spot where I can just park. Decided here. Do you believe there's a Starbucks right over here? Anybody know this airport? Maybe Starbucks is closed. No, I think they're open. I think they are open. I think they are open. I think they are open for business. Yeah, it looks like they're open for business. All right, my friends, I'm gonna pretty much end the video round about here because I have to get myself something to drink. Got 107 people in the house. If you would be so kind and smash the like button for 2022, smash that like button. All the positivity in the world we could use for 2022. So, if you want to get through this like I do and say goodbye to the COVID, goodbye to the Delta, goodbye to the Omicron, and just lead a very relaxed, good life in 2022, hit the thumbs up. Happy New Year, everyone. Ricky, to every single person in this live feed, again, you, your family, your extended family, your friends, I just wish you nothing but the very best. I wish you great health, good health. I wish you success in 22. Follow your dreams, make them happen. And I wish you happiness. I wish you a lot of laughter. I wish you fun times at the dinner table, right? Get rid of the sadness, introduce happiness, and the very, 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 very best for you. I will make this pledge right now, this promise. I'm going to keep on fighting. I'm going to keep on holding these companies responsible. I'm going to keep on calling out CEOs on their BS, and we're going to fight for bigger and better conditions, better pay, bigger weekly earnings, higher safety, better standards, more rights, everything we deserve. Because apparently, my friends, we're independent contractors, so they should treat us accordingly. God bless you all, and have an amazing January the 1st, 2022, and a super good year to you and everyone in your family. Cheers, my friends. Have a good one. Thank you.